Hey everyone, Hybrid Toy Reviews here, and I'm really excited for today's review. I am a huge fan of Star Wars The Last Jedi. I say that unironically. It is my favorite Star Wars movie, and I feel it has been drastically unrepresented by the Black Series line. Luke Skywalker has an amazing final battle on Crait against Kylo Ren, one of my most favorite Luke Skywalker outfits, and Hasbro will not even touch it in 1/12 scale. Thankfully, SH Figuarts has. This is a little bit of an older figure, considered a throwback, but let's get into this and see if the SH Figuarts Luke Skywalker is a worthy addition or if you should hold out hope for a Hasbro one. Let's go. Alright, let's go ahead and take a look at the packaging. This is pretty much your standard Figuarts fare. You have a giant window in the front showing Luke and his multiple accessories off very nicely. There's a little bit of a foil gold border all the way around, and then on the window in the front in foil, if you tilt it back, let the light hit it, you see Star Wars, SH Figuarts, and then some info about the Figuarts line. You have Luke Skywalker underneath that in both English and Japanese, and then you have Star Wars The Last Jedi, so that's really cool. Designed by Tamashii Nations in Japan, Bandai Spirits made in China. You have the Tamashii Nations logo and the Bandai logo. This side of the box features your Star Wars logo, your kind of border, your foil seal that apparently tells you it's legit. This side of the box features a cool picture of the figure. You got Star Wars The Last Jedi up top, Luke Skywalker. Below the picture, you have more Figuarts info and Disney. Around back, you have different posed up photos of the figure in different action poses with the different accessories and how they're used. You don't get a bio about the character, you just get more info about the Figuarts line. Underneath that, I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce any of this. I think that barcode is just a sticker from Amazon. That's where I ended up getting this from. It's advised for ages 15 and up. I feel that's accurate. These are a little more delicate than your average action figure. Down at the bottom, you have Bandai's contact info and SH Figuarts and all that again. Up top, you just have your Star Wars logo. So it's very standard SH Figuarts packaging. I'm going to go ahead and open Luke up, and let's take a look at what we're getting in the box. So here's the Figuarts Luke Skywalker out of the packaging. So we're going to start by taking a look at the accessories as is normal. I gotta say, we got some really cool accessories here. However, after that Obi-Wan from the Kenobi series that I've recently reviewed, this feels a bit light, but this is actually kind of standard. That just had an abnormal amount of hands. Check that review out, though. It was a fun figure. So, taking a look at the accessories, the first anomaly, or the only anomaly-like one, is this. This is Han Solo's dice from the Millennium Falcon. We see Luke hold them earlier in the movie in a different outfit. They're done very, very nice. Nice detailed sculpt on the chain, and you even have unique patterns on all 6 sides of each die. Really well done. You see that Luke kind of leaves a hallucination version of them on the ground for Ben to find, and he leaves them in Leia's hand when he projects to her in this outfit, as you see in the movie. He has these hands where they're kind of like force pushes or relaxed holding hands. In the movie, you only ever really see him hold it like that with the dice in his palms, so them being straight up like they're hanging doesn't really work too great here. It doesn't look too bad if you want him to hold it sort of like that. You know, they're very pliable and you could splay them like that. However, that's not how he holds them in the movie. So, like, they're okay. The big thing with these is, like, they're so easy to lose that I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to leave them in the box, because the Figuarts boxes are the only boxes I keep. So, from there, as far as other accessories go, he comes with the blue Skywalker family lightsaber, looking really good. The lit version features a fixed blade in a nice transparent light blue. I really like the coloring. Nicely painted hilt. And if you get enough lighting on it, the top half of the hilt looks a touch clear in person. Like, you can just tell there's opacity behind the silver paint. It's not bad, but in person it's there. On camera I notice it's not as noticeable, which is nice. You have your nice control box with the gold paint on the side and the black grips on the bottom. There's a sculpted D-ring. It's not wide open, so you actually can't hang this lit version on his belt. So that's just for looks. This hilt pulls apart in the middle because his right saber hand is actually closed fingered. The index and the thumb are sculpted together. So you can't just stick this in. You have to separate and then work the saber in, like so, if you would like that hand to hold it. So that is it for the lit saber. For the unlit saber, it's very much the same attention to detail as the lit had, which is really nice. and it has just a slightly larger D-ring on the bottom. And he has a hook on his belt, and it hooks on very snugly, very securely. That is, it's on there. I think if it shelf dove, it would probably go off, but like as far as like just some general posing, that will definitely hang on. As mentioned, there are some swappable hands right out of the box. As I mentioned, he has these kind of like open palm. These could be force hands. He could just be, neutral holding things. And then they are swappable. Something worth noting, once they're removed, is that the right hand is just a double ball joint, and the left hand actually features a twisting hinge. And that's because the right hand is such a bulky glove that it basically just rotates and has a little bit of wobble. I'll show you when we get into the articulation segment. Here's Luke with these swapped out saber holding hands. As mentioned, the right one does have closed fingers, and his left hand is sculpted very tight, but it does pull open a little bit. What that's nice for is the unlit saber does not pull in half. So if you want him to hold the unlit saber, it's going to be in the left hand only. So, because it's the only one that can splay open enough to push it through. So that is a feature there. Luke also comes with one more swappable element, and it's an alternate face. So first, we're going to look at this head, and then I will show you the swappable face. The head looks really good. It has a great Mark Hamill likeness. I'll say even Figuarts hasn't gotten it 100%, but it's a lot better than your average Hasbro attempt. It's done very nice. There's a lot of texture and weathering in the hair. It just looks really good. It's just a great Luke Skywalker head. So I really like the piercing blue eyes there. It just came out really nice. As you probably saw, as I was rotating the figure, there's a little bit of a seam on the head. This is like so many other Figuarts where there's actually like a head core in the back of the head, and the face is a plate. Here's the swappable one. I'm going to put that on, pop the head back on the figure. And here is the swappable hair. Now what this is, it's a very similar expression, but his hair is just a little bit windswept. This is like your dueling Luke. This isn't the one I'm going to be putting on the shelf. I kind of prefer the normal hair more than the windswept here, whereas, like I said, in the Figuarts Kenobi one, like that was kind of the draws. I really liked that head on that, but this one is still very good. The back of that, of course, remains the same. So this is a nice alternate expression for Luke, or more hair than anything. But I'm going to keep the bangs kind of down in the front, not being blown away yet. That's very end of duel, the other head. Looking at the figure, he looks really good. This is a nice recreation of his outfit from the ending of the film where he faces Kylo on Crait. It's a very nice outfit. It's not your traditional Jedi garb, but it just looks so right when he's wearing it in the movie. I've been waiting for years for Hasbro to release their attempt. There was rumors at one point that it was coming. Yakface had like numbers and code names and everything, and then it never dropped. So we're guessing, not guessing, obviously it had to have been canceled, which sucks because I really need some more sequel representation in the line, and hopefully Hasbro's willing to give this a crack somewhere down the road. But just such a cool outfit. I really love the kind of navy blue, dark gray, like tunic with a brown belt. He's got the baggy, robe coat over top with the hood. It just looks so good. There's a lot of texture going on here. Something I don't really like. So like the outer robe is like soft rubber. Well, not super soft. It flexes. But like it's sculpted kind of blowing back a little bit down at the bottom hem. I kind of wish it was more of a true straight down, without this blowing out, more wrapping a little bit. But like I guess this definitely works nicer for certain poses too. Something else I find that's a little frustrating is it's like his left leg's a little longer than the right, so he's always just a little cocked off to the side from standing straight up. And like I've kind of gotten it to straighten, but I just feel like I'm really fiddling a lot trying to make it happen. I don't really like that. But otherwise, this is a really good looking Luke Skywalker. I really do dig it. Let's go ahead and run through some articulation. This has a lot of your kind of standard import beats, so certain things like exposed elbow joints, but should be really good range. He has that double ball neck. The collar is sculpted onto the neck, so just be careful that will travel with the head. But he can look that far up, that far down. You can get your side to side, and of course a ton of pivot. His arms can raise all the way to a T-pose. The tops of the sleeves do kind of have a little bit of a sharp to them, but they go inside the torso, which is nice. There's a butterfly joint in there where it kind of just hinges out. So you can get it to go that far back, that far forward. It's pretty good range. 360 at the shoulder, of course. There's also just a little bit of play in the ball socket in there. He has single jointed elbows that can go just 290, a little past with these big baggy sleeves. It makes sense. There's a little bit of looseness in the elbow where like you can make it look really bad. You kind of have to seam it just right. There's articulation at the wrist, of course, and I showed that when I was swapping the hands, but the forearm can move inside the cuff too, and it's nice on either side, but it's really nice on this side with the gloved hand that doesn't let you do much. As I mentioned, because the glove is just so bulky on this outfit, there's not a ton of range. You can get it to rotate, of course. You can get some, like in and out, a little bit of up and down, but there's no right hand pointing, the lightsaber going on here. But that inner arm being able to move, like down at the very base, is really nice. I appreciate that. And then, as mentioned, this is a rotating pin over here, so you actually have a hinge cut in it, and then you can rotate it over and make it go side to side too. And then, of course, you have twist. He features a mid-torso ball joint, which allows him to crunch that far forward, which is pretty far. It probably allows him to go back, but the long rubber cloak makes it to where that's all you can really accomplish here. His legs can go all the way out at the hip and also pop off. So, gotta love your imports, right? So, I love them, but they're a little finagly. You can go that far forward, not much back. There is some upper thigh rotation with single jointed knees that can go past 90, and then you can also get a tiny bit of twist at the knee, not much. His feet are like on double ball joints, so you can, and they're really well hidden, like they just kind of bump flush to the shin. So like you can go that far forward, that far back, side to side, and then really omnidirectional. And then there's a toe joint which can go that far, so that's useful for certain posing. I've never really needed toe joints, but like it's always nice to have them. Getting him stood back up somewhat straight, let's go ahead and break out some figures for size comparisons. This is my only sequel Figuarts so far, and while I'm not looking to get super into the sequels side of Figuarts, I have a lot of sequel Black Series, and I bought him to fill some gaps in that collection. So here he is next to Rey, and he's about the same height or a touch taller than her. I don't think that's too off. Here he is next to the pretty rough attempt Black Series Last Jedi Luke. So, about the same height again, so I think that really does explain that he does jive. Here they are next to the Black Series Last Jedi Kylo Ren, who's a lot taller. That definitely checks out. And then because we see him in the movie, here is Force Ghost Yoda. So the original release, not the 3-pack release. So all in all, I think he scales pretty nice. So, end of the day, what do I think of the Figuarts Crait Luke Skywalker? I like it. It's a little fiddly. It's also dated. It's an older Figuarts. So I've been spoiled by the newer, Revenge of the Sith Anakin and the really new, Kenobi Jabim outfit. So, like, there's a couple things about this that are a little clunky, but I really like the likeness. I really like the articulation. It's just a great figure. It looks good. It's a nice shelf presence. And also, there's no Black Series Crait Luke. So, like, if you want a Crait Luke, his most iconic sequel appearance, you have to go import. And the fact that Hasbro has dropped the ball like this is insane. So yeah, that sucks. Not super digging that, but it is nice that it is a readily available figure you can pick up for about retail on the aftermarket. It looks really good, and I'm really liking the figure. It's a great addition to the collection. I recommend it. I just say that and also say it's a little clunky, but like it's good. So I'm happy to have it. I think you'd be happy to add it to your collection too. and I recommend it. Thanks for watching. It means a lot that you did. If you enjoyed, you should leave a like, comment, subscribe, all that end of video stuff, and I will catch you next time. Until then, may the Force be with each and every one of you, and goodbye.